Hello geometers, I just wanted to give you a quick video helping you to identify an included side or included angle in a triangle, because being able to do that is a really important skill for being able to decide which triangle congruence we have in terms of like side, angle, side, angle, the things that we talk about in terms of reasons to be able to say that two triangles are congruent. So let's look at that real quick. First, I've got some illustrations to show you. And I just wanted to show you some good pictures I found online to illustrate it before we actually start doing some. The included angle is the angle between two sides. So for instance, we have a side marked here, that's side IG, and a side marked over here, side HG. The included angle for those two would be angle G. And then here, the included angle for the two marked sides would be angle I. And here, the included angle for the two marked sides would be angle H. Here's another illustration of what it looks like if you didn't have a closed off triangle. It's just the included angle between two sides is basically the angle formed by those two sides joining together. And finally, here's another one. The included angle for sides AB. Let's use a different pointer. Here's AB. And BC is angle B. Okay? Notice the vertex of the angle is the only letter that's in both segment names. So that's a common thing you'll see. Okay, so here at the top of the page that my students might have for notes, it says an included angle is the angle that is between the two sides we're talking about. You can also think of it as having a vertex where the two sides meet, or being formed by the two sides joined together. So here on the first one, it says the included angle for sides TS, here is TS, and WS is, well, basically it's the angle that I have just basically marked that is the angle where those two sides join. You could call it three letters. You could say it's angle WST, or you could call it angle TSW, or in this case, we could just call it angle S. The included angle for sides YZ and ZX. Think about that for a second. YZ, ZX. What letter is in both of those two names? Z. That's the angle right there. So angle Z, or you could say angle XZY, or angle YZX. Okay, go ahead and try the third one. You might want to pause your video. The included angle for sides KM and PM, so this angle right here, is angle M, or angle, we could call it angle M, angle PMK, or angle KPM. KMP, excuse me. KM. M has to be the middle letter because the vertex of the angle is the middle letter. Notice I did this on purpose. I used a different type of angle markings here just because you need to know that either of those is fine. Either of those means angle. You could just draw a little thing that looks like an angle, or a little thing that looks like an angle that's been marked with an arc. Sometimes the reason people like to do this instead is because this might look like a letter L if you're not careful. Okay, let's look at some more, and this time we're going to look at included sides. So some more illustrations of included sides. So this time we're talking about the included side. Let me point out, let's see if I can go backwards here. When we were talking about an included angle, it was included, the angle was included between two sides. So an included angle, we look at sides to figure out where it is. Same goes the opposite way for an included side. An included side is a side that's between two angles. Okay, and the two angles in question. So here we have three illustrations of one side being marked that is between two angles. So GI is the included side between those two angles. HI is the included side between those two angles. And GH is the included side between those two angles. Here's another illustration. It says the included side is the common side of two consecutive angles in a polygon. the following postulate. We're getting a little overwhelmed here there, or a little overly formal. But PQ is the included side. Segment PQ is the included side of angle P and angle Q. And here is another illustration. The side that is marked is the included side between the two angles marked by little sunshines on both of those triangles. Okay, so let me show you what I often tell my students to try to do if they're having a trouble figuring out what's the included side. Okay, so this first one says the included side for angle T and angle W. So here's what I want you to think of. Angle T has a vertex right here. Angle W has a vertex right here. If you take your pen or pencil and you trace from one of those vertices to the other one, that's the included side. The included side is the one that goes between the vertex of each of the two angles you're talking about. So this would be my included side. So it would be side TW or WT. And let's go ahead and read this. It says the included side is the side that is between the two angles we're talking about. You can also think of it as the side that joins the vertex of one angle to the other. That's kind of what I'm showing you here. So on this one, it says the included side for angle, this one, YZX and YXZ. Okay, I wanted to use three-letter angle names here on purpose because you have to think about those a little bit more, and sometimes that's what you will be given. YZX, YZX. Okay, that's the first angle. The next angle is YXC. Which side did I trace both times? That's my included side. So that's another way you can think of it, is if you look at the two sides of each angle, one of the two sides for both of those two angles is going to overlap. It's right here. Or again, we can say, here's the vertex of one angle, here's the vertex of the other angle. The side that joins them is my included side. So it's ZX or XZ. Go ahead and try the third one. You might want to pause the video. Okay, the included side for PMK, that's this angle right here, PMK, and KPM. Let's make that red, KPM. Which side did I trace twice? It's the one that doesn't look really green or red. It's kind of brownish. This side right here, side PM or MP. Okay, so now I want you to go ahead and try these. Pause the video for sure, and then come back to see if you got them right. No, really, pause the video. It's just a yes or no for each one. So for number one, this is the side that's marked. Is it included between these two angles? That's a no. Here's the vertex of one of the two angles. Here's the vertex of the other two angles. This would be the included side. That's not the one that's marked, so this one's a no. If you needed help understanding what you were asked to do, now you've seen an example, pause the video, come back to check your answers. Okay, so here are your answers. Go ahead and check. And then just like I did in number one, the red one here is the included. The one that was marked was not included. So I'm going to go ahead and show you where the included one is each time. So here's an angle, here's an angle. If I trace my way from A to B, that is the side that's marked, so that's why that was yes. Here's the angle, here's the angle. If I trace my path from one of them to the other, that is not the side that is marked, so that's why this one's a no. Here's the side that's marked. We can do that same thing up here. The two sides meet at U. So U is the vertex of the included angle. That's not the angle that's marked. Here, the two sides meet at Q. So Q is the vertex of the included angle. That's not the angle that's marked. and here the two sides meet. It's hard to see it, but that's actually an E. They meet at letter E up here. That is the angle that's marked. So yes, that is the included angle. Hope this has helped you.